Hi, it's very nice to see you guys. My name is Angie, and I am going to be your host for this new series that I'm calling Young Wife's Life and Young Husband's Hub. And I'm going to be downloading or uploading a video once a week talking about different subjects and that are dealing with issues with how
To be a young wife. What does it take to be a mature, a good, and effective young wife? And also, on the other hand, how can you be an effective, growing, capable young husband? And the reason why I wanted to do this series because it's not a lot that really talks to on YouTube young wives and young husbands. And I used to be a young wife. I was married for 25 years to a guy before we had to let the situation go. But all the things that I've learned during those times from both sides, from looking toward him and looking at myself, I would like to share with you guys to see if maybe I could be of some help, positive help. So when you come to this channel, you're not going to hear criticism. You're not going to be beaten down, beaten up. I only have positive things to say to young wives and young husbands. And I just want to be a resource that can help you guys to move further in your relationships, to keep your relationships together, and to learn how to work out any difficulties and problems. And sometimes it's just a matter of having knowledge. Like a lot of people may not have grown up with a mom in the home or a dad in the home. And I myself didn't grow up with my dad in the home, but I had a wonderful mom in the home. And my mom had 10 children, and I'm the oldest of her 10. And I would like to share my experiences with you on the things that I went through growing up and how it helped me later in my life as a young wife and having 4 little children pretty much at one time, such a tight income to try to manage the difficulties that I went through, trying to be a wife at that time, and the difficulties that my husband went through at the time. We're not together now, but at the time when we were together, the difficulties that he faced that I didn't understand and just couldn't get a grip around it. So I would like to be a resource for you if I could help you in any kind of way. I decided to do this because working with young people and mentoring them, I went in for an interview one day. And the lady asked me, I said, well, I want to work with young girls and mentor young girls and help young girls. And she just kind of looked at me, not mean or anything, but she just kind of looked at me and she said, only young girls? And when those few words just kind of stuck with me. And I was like, yeah, only young girls? I love young girls too, but our young men also need, um, our young men also need help in motivation too. And not just from men, but from some of us women who are older and settled. And I have daughters. My oldest daughter, 29. My next daughter is 27. And my next son Is 25. And then I have a 21-year-old. He'll be 22 next month. So my children are grown, but I want to encourage you, if you are a young wife today, if you are a young mother, I want to encourage you to just take a breath, just breathe. I know there can be a lot of things that happens when you say I do. A lot of things you may think, well, I didn't sign up for this. And young men too may say, man, I didn't know it was going to be like this when we said I do. But I want to encourage you that you get past those times. You're going to grow past those first months, those first years. So don't quit. Don't give up before you grow up. Don't give up before you grow up. Young wives, I want to say to you today that your position is ministry. And God has ordained you to be a helper, a motivator, a cheerleader to this person that you've married, to this man. And I just want you to find resources that keep your mind positive and encouraged. Now, you may have to cut off some of the stuff on TV, like cheaters and such programs that are constantly putting negativity in your mind, Maury Povich and all these kind of things. And I'm not saying you have to totally get rid of them, but I'm saying let the positive things wash your mind and roll over in your mind more than those things. Young husbands, I'm going to tell you, some of your friends, you're going to have to tell them, hey, I want to continue to be friends with you, but you can't come against my wife. You can't say negative things. You can't try to pull me out into the street and out away from my family. They need me. And young man, I'm going to tell you, they need you. And if you don't have any children yet, your wife needs you. She needs you. This is the time for you guys to really bond. Now, if you didn't get it all together before courtship, and if you didn't get through the premarital counseling and all that stuff, you absolutely need this time to bond together. So you guys are going to have to make this a priority if you want your marriage to be a priority and last, or you end up like so many of us have ended up with having to let something go. And you don't want to be like that. You don't want that. Some things have to be let go. But now, if you can make it work and if you can save it, then absolutely do that. And I'm sorry if you see me kind of looking down, my screen is flashing something, so I'm trying to see what it's telling me. But getting back on subject, I just want to say to you young wives, you're not alone. You are not alone. I don't care what is going on around you. There may just seem like havoc, but you're not alone. Young husbands, I'm going to have resources for you in the coming videos. So I'm going to get all my resources together. Each video I want to give you something to look at, whether it be a YouTube video or whether it be a book, something that will keep you guys and help you to grow closer together. And before I go, I have a couple of minutes left. I would just like to say to the young wives, young mothers, I want you to know that I'm going to be putting up an email, so you can always email me your questions, or if you have any requests on subjects you want me to talk about, if it's something that you would like for me to praying about with you or the husband. But we're going to talk about things from hygienes to lingerie to just you name it. I'm going to have it on this YouTube channel. So if you have any friends and they've just gotten married, it doesn't matter what race they are. We're all one race. We're all human race. And we're all human beings, and at the end of the day, we all want the same thing. We want to have the best life that we can have on this side of heaven.
and we would like it to be as smooth as it can, but in reality, I want to equip you guys to let you know that you're going to have some difficulties. Don't be afraid of the difficulties you're going to have. You're going to have some things you're going to have to work out. You're going to have some mindsets, young lady, that you're going to have to change. Some things you're going to have to pull in. And young man, you're going to have to you're going to have to be able to talk to your wife, and you're going to have to be able to communicate to her and let her know what you're thinking, what your plan is, how she can help you, and vice versa. And she's going to have to be able to take the hurts and the pains and put them down and lay them down so that you guys can come together and have this marriage that could be more like heaven on earth instead of hell on earth. Because it can be hell on earth if you have two people who just can't get it together and understand where each other's coming from, and always bumping heads and arguing and fighting. And that's painful to a wife. It is. It's painful to a wife not to be able to comfort her husband and love her husband and get him and understand where he's coming from, and just be that cheerleader for him. And then also, it's painful for a husband to think that the wife can respect any other man besides him.
That she can look up to any other man besides him. That she so happy with when she gets around other men, but when she gets around him, she just has this attitude. It's just like, just a real stank kind of attitude, and she's not happy and she's not smiling, and that's painful to a man's heart. So, like I said, we're going to be tackling a lot of issues. I hope you guys will tell your friends that you'll like it and you'll subscribe, and that you will get some comfort out of these videos. Now remember, the videos are called Young Wife's Life and Young Husbands. And as I'm talking on the video, I'm going to try to start out with one, either the young wife or the young husband. And we'll try to, work the videos from both sides, the husband and the young wife's point of view in solving and problems. Okay, so thank you so much for listening to me. Hopefully I'll have more videos coming up by the end of this week. This is March. This is the first part of March. It's actually the 10th. So I love you guys. I'm rooting for you guys. I want you to make it, and I'm just rooting and praying for you guys' young life. So have a great one, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.